Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let's pray and thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala who has been given us the mercies and blessings. So today's presentation, we are from Group 4. We will discuss about adapting material. So I am Hilda Hadir as the moderator, and my friends.
My name is Anissa. And my name is Noralipa.
My name is Ahmad Zainul Fadil. And my name is Muhammad Mutaulisan.
Okay, so without any further ado, let's get jump to the first material we will deliver by Akul. Thanks, yours.
Okay, the first one is definition of adapting material. So adapting material can be defined as the three things. The first one is the process of modification of the original composition of the material to suit the content of the intended learners. The second one is modifying primary source documents so that all students can read and analyze them in their classroom. The last one is the application of some strategies to make the learning materials more effective and flexible. Jadi adapting material ini bisa dibilang proses atau hasil dari pembenahan sebuah materi agar pembelajaran itu lebih efektif dan lebih fleksibel. Next slide please. Okay. Next is the importance of adapting material. Hitomi Masuara di dalam bukunya The Rowley's Handbook of Materials Development of Language Teaching 2022 state that material adaptation is carried out by teachers for various reasons, such as reducing mismatch between material, context, teacher beliefs, and learner variables. It is rare to find a perfect fit between learner needs and course requirement on the other hand, and what the course book contains on the other hand. So every learning situation is unique and depends on factors such as this: the dynamic of the classroom, the personalities involved, the constraint imposed by syllabus, the ability of research, and learner motivation. So material can nearly always be improved by being adapted to suit the particular situation where it is being used. And I think that's all from me. The next material will be delivered by Anissa.
Alright, thank you, Mita. So we move to how to adapt teaching materials. Next slide, please. Thank you. There are different ways to adapt materials depending on your purpose and criteria. So the first one is tool and techniques. You can use variety of tool and techniques such as editing software, online platform, multimedia resources, or creative materials to modify or create new elements of the materials. And the second one is strategies. If you want to adjust teaching material to young learners level, interests and needs, you can use different strategies such as simplifying, expanding, reordering, replacing, or personalizing the materials. And the last one is methods. You can also use different methods such as piloting, testing, or reviewing the materials to check their effectiveness and suitability. Next slide, please. Alright, thank you. According to McDonald, 2013 talked about different techniques that can be applied to content in order to bring about change. There are 5 techniques. The first one is adding. Adding is adaptation procedure which is involves supplementation of extra linguistic item and activities to make up for the inadequacy or insufficiency of materials. Addition of extra material is necessary or applicable when the following situations are faced. The first is areas are not covered sufficiently. The second is text or picture or tasks are not provided. And then text, picture, or tasks are fewer than needed. And then we have deleting or omitting. Deleting or omitting is adaptation procedure which involves removal of some of the linguistic items and activities which are found to be extra and unnecessary. So, deletion is a process in which material are taken out rather than added. So, material should be reduced through omission when the following situations are faced. Learners are clear about language point. Learners are competent in skill. There are too many tasks on particular area or point, and then the item or area concerned is not priority. And then we have modifying or modification. This means changes in different aspects of material such as linguistic level, exercises, assessment system, and so on. Modification of material is applicable or appropriate in the following situation. Materials are inappropriate to the aim. Materials are inappropriate to the learner's age or experience. And then materials are unclear, confusing, or misleading. And then the fourth one, we have simplifying or simplification. This procedure is employed to make materials less complicated or easier to understand. If the language teaching material is found to be difficult or mechanical for the target learner, the material can be made suitable for the learner through the process of simplification. And then the last, we have reordering. Reordering is the process of adapting material by arranging different parts of textbook in different order sequence. Learners may reorder material by matching their aims, using practice tasks for lead-in and elicitation, revising an area earlier than the course book does, and comparing and contrast areas. Maybe that's all from me. The next material will be continuing with my friends.
So the next material is supplementing and replacing material. Refers to the process of enhancing or substituting content within a textbook to better meet the needs of students and teachers. The need for supplementation arises from the recognition that textbooks, while valuable, may not always fully engage them effectively. By adding supplementary material or replacing sections of a textbook, educator can tailor the content to better suit the learning objectives, student preferences, and the dynamic nature of educational environment. Supplementation involves adding extra material such as activities, examples, or explanation to enrich the content provided in the textbook. This process aims to deepen understanding, reinforce key concepts, and cater to different learning styles. On the other hand, replacing material involves substituting sections of the textbook with more relevant, up-to-date, or engaging content. This practice ensures the learning material remain current, culturally sensitive, and aligned with the evolving educational landscape. The rationale behind supplementing and replacing material in textbook is multifaceted. Firstly, it allows educators to address the diverse needs and learning preferences of students, promoting inclusivity and engagement. Secondly, it enables teachers to adapt the content to specific learning objectives, making the material more relevant and effective. Additionally, supplementing and replacing material can enhance the overall quality of education by incorporating innovative teaching methods, real-world examples, and interactive activities that foster critical thinking and creativity among students. Next slide. Thank you. And the next material is a few areas that usually need supplementing, such as reading, grammar, listening, vocabulary, and pronunciation. And here I'll explain briefly about why each of these areas typically necessitates supplementing. For reading comprehension is a complex skill that benefits from exposure to a variety of texts, genres, and topics to enhance vocabulary, critical thinking, and language understanding. For grammar is the structural foundation of a language, and supplementing grammar instruction with practical examples, exercises, and real-world application can aid in comprehension and language production. The next one is listening. Listening skills are crucial for effective communication, and supplementing listening material with authentic audio resources, dialogues, and interactive exercise can improve comprehension and pronunciation. And the next one is vocabulary. Vocabulary acquisition is essential for language proficiency, and supplementing textbook with diverse vocabulary exercises, word lists, and contextual examples can enhance students' language skill and fluency. And for the last one is pronunciation. Pronunciation plays a key role in communication, and supplementing textbook with pronunciation guides, audio resources, and speaking activities can help students improve their accent, intonation, and overall speaking skills. That's all from me. The next material will be presented by my friend. Thank you.
So the next is advantage and disadvantage of adapting materials. First is advantage. According to Graves 2000, textbooks have the following benefits: a course curriculum, security for the student, a collection of image, exercise, and readings, a task to evaluate the students, and uniformity in both level and sequence. In addition, Richard 2001 also proposed that the textbook give advantage in providing syllabus for the course, helping the standardized instruction, serving the quality and efficiency, providing varieties of materials, providing the language model, linguistic and input, and grading the teacher in the class so the teacher can be more confident. And then the disadvantage, Graves 2000 outline the drawbacks of using textbook to learn English, including the followings. The textbook may contain content that it is too advanced for the students. It may be overly focused on a single subject and low context. The exercise and visual aids may be dull and antiquated, and the time allotted for completing the activities may be arbitrary. Richard also explained that there are 5 disadvantages of textbook to be used in teaching English language. There are textbooks that may contain inauthentic material, distort content, digital feature, high cost to be obtained, and it does not reflect learners' need. Okay, that's all from me, maybe, my friends.
Okay, the next is example of adapting material. The first is personalizing drills. So drills is a classroom technique used to practice and reinforce new language or skills. It involves the teachers modeling a word, phrase, or sentence, and then the learners have to repeat it. Drills are particularly useful for memorization through repetitive practice. But the objective of drills is the structures rather than the context. For example, here strukturnya itu adalah do you have to. Jadi drills ini lebih fokus ke strukturnya daripada konteksnya. And how to personalize drills? The first, you can ask the class about their regular tasks and then list them on the board. After that, ask the class to categorize the list into tasks they enjoy and those they don't. This activity can be done with group or whole class activity. Number 3, concentrate on the unpleasant task. Provide examples using have to in present and future forms. For example, I have to sweep the floor today, misalnya gitu. Itu bentuk dari presentnya. Untuk bentuk future-nya, I will have to sweep the floor tomorrow. Number 4, pair or group students to ask and answer questions like, do you have to today and will you have to tomorrow? Jadi, the first person have to ask the second person like, do you have to see the dentist today or will you have to see the dentist tomorrow? Number 5, introduce the sentence structure, I always have to, with the example. And then number 6, encourage students to explain their responses using this structure. For example, I have to do my homework today and I will have to do it tomorrow, and I always have to do my homework. Number 7, if students are able, develop into more complex sentences such as, I always have to finish my homework before I'm allowed to watch TV or go out with my friends. Next slide, please. Okay. Number 2, using authentic content. Authentic content is using real facts and information instead of made up content. So here the example. This is study the map of Calabria. So number 1, there's a map and here's the symbol. And number 2, this is the exercise. And then the picture number 2, this is the description about the Calabria, like the historical, the economic, the religion, and etc. So the idea of this framework is really good and the activity is good. So why not we use authentic content to make the students more interesting and provide the opportunity to learn something about the world through English. Next slide, please. Now, using the framework of the course book activity, one way of adapting the material is like, number 1, gather info about countries, find out about countries that are in the news or that interest you. You can get information from tourist office, books, newspaper, and more. Number 2, make a map. Draw or find a simple map of the country and then explain what the symbols mean. Number 3, pick topics. Choose 5 different things to talk about in the country. Number 4, make text easier. If the text is hard, make it simpler but keep the same order. Number 5, introduce the same topic. Start with a short talk to get everyone ready and use picture if you can. Number 6, ask questions. Make questions about the maps and the topics. Work on them in a small group. Number 7, make a discussion, make a written talk where different groups in the country talk about what they want for the future. For example, farmers, workers, and people who care about the environment. Slide, please. The last one is making dialogues communicative. Dialogue work is a necessary part of English language learning and helps to develop a degree of fluency. Nah, salah satu cara untuk mendorong students kita untuk bisa berdialog adalah dengan adapting pair of cue cards. Caranya adalah get pieces of playing card approximately. Jadi siapkan sepasang kartu dengan ukuran yang sama, and then change each turn in the dialogue into an instruction written in English at the level that students can understand. And then write the instructions for a student A on one card in the correct order and then numbering them. Jadi di sini contohnya you bla 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 bla. Frank menjawab me in Manchester. Jadi kurang lebih pertanyaannya adalah where you was born. Nah, di cue cardnya kita nggak langsung tulis where you was born, tapi kita pakai instruction atau clue. And then number 4, do the same for the student B. Number 5, color code the cards. For example, the A cards have a red line, and then the B card has a blue line. Number 6, make sure that students have practiced the same kind of dialogue in more fixed form and that they understand how to use the cue cards. Next slide, please. Nah, kurang lebih jadinya kayak gini. Jadi, kartu yang pertama adalah students A, yang kedua yang students B. Jadi kurang lebih tadi gini, ask him or her where he or she was born. Jadi nggak langsung where you was born gitu. And then the students we have to answer the questions begitu sampai akhir. And then kita juga bisa tambahin situation background. Contohnya di sini students A, you are talking to someone that you don't know very well. Begin the conversation with questions. Begitu pun dengan students B. Okay, summary. Ada material means modifying already existing resources such as films or textbooks to better meet the needs of students. Teachers take these actions to improve learning for all students, especially for those who might find the original contents difficult to comprehend. Teachers start by assessing the needs and learning styles of their students. They then change the text to make it easier to read by adding images, reordering the information, or simplifying vocabulary. To make learning more interesting, teachers might also incorporate enjoyable exercises or group projects. They guarantee that everyone can comprehend and appreciate the materials regardless of the background or skill level. So maybe that's all for our presentation today. If you guys have any opinion or questions, please tell us in the comment below. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.